Hi everyone, welcome to today's webinar for What's New in Azure Networking, and I'm Rajwinder with you, the Ingram lead. And we have Abdul Basit Salim, who is the technical consultant for cloud for the Meta region. And we have Ahmed Abu Tamim, who is also the technical consultant for Egypt. So we have them, both of them, guiding us through the deck today. And just a quick update, we have the deck available under the handout section. So you can download the deck and review it as the session goes on. I'll hand over the presentation to Ahmed and Abdul, and they will guide you through the webinar.
Okay. Hi everyone, this is Abdul Basit Salim. As Rajwinder told you that I'm the technical consultant for cloud for the Meta region in Ingram Micro. So today's training session is about what's new in Azure networking, what new features Microsoft has introduced, and how we are going to use them, how we are going to deploy those services. Let me show you the brief agenda, the main and what you can say the main context, what we are going to discuss today. So the major things that we are going to discuss today are the internet connectivity, virtual network and hybrid connectivity, and also the VPN connectivity. So half part of it would be covered by me and half part of it would be covered by Ahmed Abu Tamim. So what I'll be covering is that I'll be covering how to create a virtual network and how to do the security rules, or how to configure the firewall, creating new IP addresses, things like that. Basically all the configurations about the virtual networks. And Ahmed Tabin would be would be giving you guys the demo for how to establish the VPN connection, express routes, things like that, and how you can connect to those connections. Just before continuing, please confirm me in the chat that you can view the screen and hear me properly. Guys, can you confirm in the chat? Ahmed, can you confirm in the chat that you can hear me? Okay. Mirel, can you confirm also? Okay, good. So I have been getting the yes from the attendees. Okay, so let's continue, guys. Because let me show you what in the bigger picture the network is. So in the bigger picture, how you will use the network. You will use the network to connect through your Azure or resources, Azure virtual resources. They may be the storage or any application, any website, any virtual server instance, anything that's you're using in Azure. You need a connectivity to it, network connection. And it can be either, it has to be in fact over the public internet, but you can use it over the normal public internet, or you can use it through private channels or encrypted channels like VPNs and express routes. All the virtual networks that are inside the Azure cloud technology, that is basically the in the back end, then it's totally flexible. It's a multi-tier topology. So you can configure it with way too much ease, and you will find almost all the available options over there so that it will fulfill your need. How you can connect your on-prem data center or your on-prem machines, basically your laptop or your on-prem infrastructure, is through secure internet channels like VPN connectivity, or you can have a direct connectivity through express routes. So what's new in this technical edition is that what are the options available in internet connectivity? Like DNS options are available. You can manage the traffic. You can have the source base IP address infinity. Then you will have in the virtual networks, will have the security groups, you will have virtual network connection, that is VNet, and then in the cross premises connectivity, you will be having the tunnel connections, that is basically the VPNs, IPsec VPNs. You will have multiple types of express routes, subscription based, subscription circuit sharing, or the circuit virtual network. Then you can have high performance VPN gateways, and obviously the operation logs for them. And apart from that, you can have multiple virtual appliances over there. By it, I mean that you can have multiple NICs card, network interface cards per virtual machine, and there are multiple virtual appliances also available, which we are going to cover in another session, like NetScaler or brokered firewalls, virtual firewalls, things like that. And just I would like to make a point over here that MAC address is persistent. It means that it doesn't matter how many times you are gonna restart the machine, your MAC address of the virtual machine will remain persistent. It won't change. So let's see what happens in the instance level public IP. So when you assign a public IP to a single VM, you have to open a port, or you can open a port range in order to access it. You can open up a port 80 or port 443 if you want to access the web services of if you are running the web services, or you can, if you want to access it remotely, if it's a Windows machine, you can open port 3389. If it's a Linux machine, you can open port 27. And if it's FTP server, you can open port 21, SMTP server port 25. So there are multiple options available. So you can, the total virtual firewall is totally in your control. By default, there isn't any port open except for the remote connections. When, for example, if you create a Windows virtual machine, by default port 3389 will be opened, but you can also configure it when you are creating the machine. So in the network security groups, you can configure all the ports that are that I was telling you, that are controlled in the network security groups. Then you can have the access control list, that who can has access or who does not have the access. Same applies for the ports. You can also configure that the traffic on which port is allowed, or the traffic on which port should be denied or blocked. Even you can configure the source IP addresses, so that if you are allowing an IP address, you can configure the source IP also. It means that you if you want only your office internet, or people sitting in your office, to connect to your Azure resources, you can put up your office IP address. It can be any public IP that is on your router or provided by you through your ISP. You can configure it in Azure security group with the specific port that you want, and then only the traffic going from that IP through that particular port will reach your Azure resource. All the else traffic will be dropped. So guys, let's go for a live demo. Before going for a live demo, if there is a question, just shoot up in the question sheet so that we can also cover it in the live demo. So I think there isn't any question over there. Okay. So once you log in into your Azure portal, you will see a similar dashboard like this. I already have a couple of resources over here. So let's go and create a new resource. So if you want to create a new virtual network, this new item, new button, go to networking, click on the virtual network, then click on create. Give it a name, for example, test demo network, and then the address space. It has to be between 10.1.0.0 to 10.1.255.255. Any subnet, if you want to have a specific subnet, you can also configure the specific subnet, but for the private IP, it has to be 10.1.0. Select the subscription that you want to use, and if you want to use an existing resource group, select the existing resource group. Let's say, for example, I want to select this one, and the location you want to use, I would go for a different location. Let's say West Europe. Enter dashboard and click create, and in some time after the validation of my selection, it will start creating the network deployment. So meanwhile the network is deployed, I have already deployed a network for this demo session. I'll show you guys the configuration in that network. So when you click on the network, this one is the one that I have previously created. This one or this one. Yeah. Okay, so the new network is also created. So when you click on overview, it gives you an overview of your network details. What's your subscription ID, the subscription name, address space you are using, then the activity log. Currently there isn't anything over here. So you can also configure the access control. If you can see in the activity log, it says that the virtual network has been created successfully 1 minute ago with this timestamp and under the subscription, and event is initiated by this user. You have a couple of options over here to filter the results. Then you can control the network by that who has the access to it. Currently the subscription admin has the access. He is the currently is the owner of the of all these things. So the subscription admin is usually the owner. He owns everything over here. Then the address spaces that you have configured, the one that I showed you, 10.1.0.0/16, and you can also configure additional address spaces. Then over here you have the subnet that we created when we are creating the network. You can also create a new subnet, or you can also create a new gateway subnet over here. Like for example, if we'll click on the subnet, it will ask you what name you want to give it to, and what's the CIDR or the address range you want to use, or any network groups, security network groups you want to use. For example, if we click on our default one, so it does not, in the network security group, it doesn't have anything currently. So if you click on, there isn't any security group associated with this this subnet, and there isn't any route table associated with this, or the managed users who are managing it is the subscription admin. Same is that you can configure your DNS servers. The selected one is Azure DNS. If you want to use a secondary DNS, for example, 8.8.8 and 8.4.4, you can just configure it, and when you click on save, the custom DNS would be saved. But I would prefer to use Azure DNS because it's usually populated every after some time. Not the In fact, the time span for the refreshing of Azure DNS is very less, so that it gets refreshes more oftenly or very frequently. Okay, so if you click on properties, it will give you the the subscription. You can change the subscription from over here, or if you want to have apply some locks on it, you can have some locks over here. Currently I don't have any lock over here. And now let me show you how you can so this is the server running. So I'll show you how you can now configure the firewall or configure the network interface that's connected to this virtual machine. So you have to click on network interface, then the interface card available. Then over here you will see the access control things I told you, the overview activity log, and if you click on the IP configuration, you will see over here you can also have the IP forwarding, or for example in the IP configuration, if you click over here, it will tell you what kind of IP configurations are there. If you don't want to have a public IP, if it's a backend server, for example, if it's a database server behind your web front end, or it's an application server behind your front end server, then you can disable the public IP, so it will only be accessible over the private IP then. So currently I have enabled the public IP, then I can configure that what kind of public IP that I want. Already I have selected two options. If I want to select more, I can click on crypt new. I can have this dynamic public IP, or I can have the static public IP. So the network in used is the same that as VNet, and if you can see the subnet that we selected, and also this is the private IP. Private IP, if you want to have a dynamic or static, currently I have chosen for dynamic. Same is the case with the DNS servers. You can have an Azure DNS, or if you want that machine to be with the custom DNS. Now comes, this is the major thing that we want to use, the security groups. So if you click on inbound security rules, you will see over here that as this is a Linux machine, only port 22 is open and its action is allowed. If I click over here, I can select it as deny. So if I'll select deny, all the traffic coming over this port will be denied. If I'll select allow, all the traffic coming on this port will be allowed. So let's add a new rule. For example, we want to add HTTPS service. What is the service? As you can see that it's HTTPS, if you want to use the default ports, or for example, if let's say my HTTPS port is not 443, instead it's 445, and I want all the traffic coming over 445 to be allowed, traffic coming in, because this is the inbound security rule. The source, if I want, for example, what is my IP? So if I want the traffic coming, only the traffic coming from this IP to access it, then I can configure that over here. So if I'll click OK, so it will create the rule. And as you guys see that I have selected unusual HTTPS port. So now I will block all the traffic coming on default HTTP port, that is 443, to be denied. So all the traffic coming on 443 will be denied now from any source. Let's give it a name, HTTPS deny. So as you can see there, it's creating the rule and updating the firewall table, or you can say that updating the IP tables. Same is the case for the outbound security rules. Currently I don't have any outbound rule select to this, or if you want you can select from here the default rules. So as you can see over here, it allows everything is allowed, from anything, from any private network, from any virtual network, from any internet connection, and it's also blocking all the connections. So when I click on default rule, it blocks all the connections also. So it means that all the connections are blocked. That's why no traffic can go out of this server, just for the security. Or if you want, if you want to add a different rule, for example, if you want to have that, let's give it a priority 650004. I think I have added one more zero. Okay, so I have given it a priority, and I want all the traffic going out allowed on port 80, or I can select HTTP from here, or if I want to have it an FTP, I can select it over here and click OK, and it will allow the traffic. So let's see the network interfaces. Currently only one interface is associated with the virtual server, with our virtual server, but we can have multiple virtual interfaces. Currently this is my test subscription, so it doesn't allow me to have multiple interfaces, but if you click plus on this associate button, it will add more network interfaces to your virtual machine. And you can similarly, you can configure your subnets from here, and by clicking on the properties, it will give you the properties of your subscription, like what subscription you are using, what is the location, subscription name and ID. So guys, so far any question? Guys, any question? You can type in the question section. Okay, thanks Murel. Ramesh, any question? Viswan, any question? Okay, good. So the next part, the express routes and virtual VPN, virtual private network. It will be presented to you, or it will be, the training will be given by Ahmed Abu Tamim to you. Is also our cloud consultant specialist. Ahmed, please confirm when you will get the presenter role. Until you get the till you share your screen, let's quickly run a poll. So guys, all the attendees, you have to answer this poll question. Well, none of you have used that, and quickly run another poll. As expected. Okay, cool. Not a problem. Okay, so Ahmed, we can see your screen, and I'm going to give the charge over to Ahmed, and I'm going to put myself on mute, guys.
Okay, guys, how are your things and Heartland? It's a very pleasure to be with you today. Thanks to Abdul Basit to giving the last sessions was very great. In this session, we will trying to working on how to connect our VPN, how to access our servers on Azure and make it connected to our local machines here. As you know, we have two portals for Microsoft Azure. We have one called Azure Portal that Abdul Basit was working on, and we have another one called Azure Classic Portal. We will try to make the demo for the Classic Portal or for the version for the VPN on the Classic Portal. Why we connect with the VPN? The VPN is founded to make sure that you can connect securely to your servers on the cloud through two ways, even point to site or a site to site. Site to site, it means that you have a device or a server that you want to connect via to your servers or have connection between it. Another way, it's a point to site, as you have many clients, you want them to connect to your network on Azure. This can come by point to site system, and that's what we will try to configure on the next demo. Let's try together in a few minutes to see how can we configure a point to site VPN and connect to it. Let's try to open Azure, Microsoft.com. Try to do portal. As we see, we are now connecting to the Azure portal, but we are now going to the Classic portal. Once we reach the Classic portal, we will try to we will wait till the connections or the Azure is loading the services. We will try to get to the networks. Here we can find networks. We can easily create a new network by click on new, then virtual network. We can create it through quick create or custom create. You can make it a demo. I am demo. I give it the range, so it'll be 19. Different. It depends on your sites. We use connectivity location, and this depends on the machines or the resources that you want to connect. And we do recommend to use the nearest place to you to reduce the net latency. Then create. And it takes some seconds to be created, and it's created already right now. Once we open it, we can VPN, sorry, not IM, open it. To start to configure, now it's only a virtual network, as Abdul Basit said. It doesn't configure as a point to site or site to site anything. Now we can try to configure it as a point to site connectivity by clicking here. And we automatically set a new. We just try to save this. That may take 2 minutes. The next step to configure the certification. Certification is coming from here. The certification only can be button 1 if the point to site VPN has been configured. Before that, you cannot manage a certificate for your virtual network. So we have to wait till the configuration here is settled. We still on. Well, that we can create the certification. Let's see how can we create the certification. It's so easy. We have to go. I'm sorry. We have to open CMD. And go to this directory. Sorry. Once we on this directory, we may run this command. This is certification name. We may run or create another to it. Once you create it, you are just open certification manager by clicking cert gr.msc. Here you can find all your certificates. And this is a certificate we had been created. You need to export it by clicking right click, go to all tasks, and then export. You'll do next. Yes, you are without a private key right now. You will create a directory of .c certification. Click next and choose the place you will. Let's take it Azure certification. Save and next. Finish. Certification is exported and it's now here in my desktop. If we back here, we can see, yeah, now it's configured. As you see, a point-to-site VPN has been configured, but it's missing certification. We may upload the certification right now. Before we upload the certificate, we may go to dashboard to create the gateway. Now you have a network and you have configured the point-to-site, but you still need the gateway to connect to it. We have just to create a gateway, yes, and it will take about 10 minutes or more to create the gateway. We will left it and see another thing. While here creating the gateway, we can upload the certification here by clicking here and choose from our desktop the certification. We use it as Azure certificate, Azure certificate. that's recreated, as you see. If we click open and click complete, it will start it. It's uploaded and it's correctly founded here, as you see. All what we have to do is to wait till the gateway is created. As you know, all the gateway may take about 10 minutes, so I created another one already before we start, and this gateway is already configured here. After the gateway, this process completed, it's come like this, and a new gateway IP address has been given to it, and there is 01 connect to it. So what should we do to connect to it is to download the package for the VPN client. It's to choose how your system is run on 64-bit or 32-bit. It depends on your system. Once you click here, a file will be downloaded to your device. This file must run and installed to start using the network. But before you start using the VPN, you must install the client certification. Let's go to the certification manager again and to the same certificate that we create for the server. I click all tasks to export, but now we will export a private key. We will export it with a private key, so it will be .pfx, not CAR. Okay, let's get next. We can put a password for it. This password. Next, it's not matched, sorry. Next, the place that I will export the certificate, Azure client, save. Next, we have already exported right now, and we can find here. That's it. This is a like. Let's make sure that not the CC, not the certification, the certificate that hasn't been confirmed. What we need now for the client is a PFX certificate. What we should is to install it in our local machine. Password we created. The important was this imported successfully. Now we are going to uninstall the client that we downloaded from here. Okay. Run anyway. Yes. Oh. So let's run. And now when there was to install, yeah. Allow all. So let's install now. If I open my I found out that it's already found it here, VPN demo. If I try to connect, I will connect it from here. I just finished my demo right now for this client VPN. Do you have any question on what we have explained on a point to site VPN?
Guys, any questions so far from Ahmed? I'll assume no question means
Okay, looks
Everything is good for you guys.
okay. Thank you all for this great session. I will let you back to Abdul Basit for a minute. Thank you, Abdul Basit, for letting me go. You can go on.
Okay. So guys, you can download the handouts from there. Your GoToWebinar has an option over there. Can you guys see that option for the handouts? So Ahmed has, I believe, gone through all of this. So, so far, any question, guys? Once again, Murad, Ramesh, Vishwan, all the other attendees. Do you guys have any question? Okay. And also, you guys can see over here, if you want to subscribe to the future trainings, you can go to any of those two links available in this slide, imcloud.me/events and imcloud.me/stay in touch. Okay, guys, hopefully we have been a great help to you guys and we have given you a good knowledge for Azure. If you find any issues, most of you guys have my email addresses, or you can have Emma's email address also. Just shoot us an email and we would be more than happy to help you guys out.
Sure. Thank you, guys, all.
Till the next TechTune webinar, TechTune training session. Have a nice day, guys, and bye-bye.
Bye bye, guys.